Welcome to another Autodesk Inventor tutorial. This time we're going to be creating a parts list with material and mass in Autodesk Inventor. Woohoo! How exciting is that? Not very, I hear you say, but this relies on you having a completed trailer or a completed design, so that you can relate to that design in the drawings that we're going to be making, which is how we create a parts list. And so once you have your design, you'll need to use File, New, and in the new options where you've got parts and assemblies, you're going to go down to Drawing and choose anti-millimeter drawing, although in this case it doesn't really matter. And use the blank template, which is the first option up the top. When you hit create, it might take a little while, but up comes a blank template. You could fill out the name block if you wish, but in this case we're just going to insert the parts list. The very first thing to do that is you go to annotate, and around about the midway point you'll find a thing that says parts list. Click on that, and you get to first select the document, in this case the Inventor file that we're using, which is my trailer trial. You can see the file name there. We're going to click on that. Don't worry so much about primary because that's really the only setting, but under BOM view you've got structured or parts. We're going to use structured in this case, which will refer to each individual assembly, like the axle, or in my case sheet metal, you might have that as well, as individual parts, or that show totals as a whole assembly rather than lots of individual parts. So choose structured and hit OK. It'll give you a shadow of where we're going to click, and we're just going to click somewhere on the table because we can reposition this. The text is very small, and yeah, you can zoom in if you wish, but there are better ways to do this. First thing we're going to do is we're going to make this text a little bit bigger. So if you right mouse click somewhere on that table, you'll get a whole bunch of options, and this one here that says edit parts list style. This is where we change things like font sizes or even the font itself. So once you right mouse click, this will pop up, and you'll see that in parts list, which is that here, you get different text styles for the title, the column, and the data. When we change one of these, it will actually change all of them. So to make it a little bit more readable on this particular part, we're going to click on the options edit, which is there. You could change the font if you want, but I'm going to leave it because that's a very readable font. And you can change the text height. Now, my recommendation, certainly for my parts list, is to change that to 6 millimeters. It's like changing a font size, but in this case it uses actual measurements rather than a font point size. And once you change that and hit save and close, it might take a little while, but this table will upscale and the fonts will get a little bit bigger. Now this is where you need to start laying things out. So you will need to grab each column one by one and drag them out so that everything in that column fits as one straight line, including the description here, but we're going to talk about that in a sec. And then you can see, once you find the place, you should be able to click and drag and move that whole item in there. Now, this is a very beginning parts list, and it's all well and good. You'll notice that in the toe ball hitch, it says it's got a quantity of 1. The sheet metal assembly is a quantity of 1. So is, in this case, the axle assembly, a quantity of 1. But you'll notice here, these are all the different frames that are using the hollow tube steel, or if you're using any other tube steel. And it doesn't list it as 1 quantity or even 1 length. However, it lists it in the amount of length used. So in this case, there's 3.5 meters of this particular cut used for that thing. So we're not worried so much about that for this assignment, but we definitely need to add a few things here, or even change a few things, and maybe even get rid of a few things. And to do that, we're going to right mouse click, and you're going to choose the option of Edit Parts List. And you can either click on it there, and that'll bring up this, or a very quick way to do it is to double click, and that will bring that up as well. Now you can see here, this is where you get to manipulate things. If you want to change the description here to something like, I don't know, Mr. Fisher is amazing. You can, and just to show you, if I apply there and hit OK, oh look, it's in the description, but please don't do that. So what we actually want to do is we want to add in the type of material being used for these parts and the mass of each part, which substitutes for the concept of weight in this particular table. And so to do that, what we're going to do is we're going to go up to the top, we're going to right mouse click, and there is an option for column chooser. When you click on that, you get a whole list of different options down here that you want to use, or you may want to use. You can select them or deselect them. Now the first thing I'm going to do is, I don't really need your description there, or the description of structural, steel, rectangle, hollow sections, because for the most part, most of them are that, and it's easy to tell that they're that within the part number, which is actually the cross-section specifications. So if in this little table here, we click on description and hit remove, that will take that out of that list. And when we hit OK, that disappears and that's not in there anymore. However, we still need to list materials and mass. So once again, you can right mouse click and choose column chooser there, or up here, the very first icon says column chooser. Same thing. When you click on it, it pops up. So we need material and mass, and to find those in the available properties, you'll scroll down, and the first one we can find here, and they're right next to each other, mass and material, is mass, and we can hit add, and then material, and we can hit add. And when we go OK, you'll see they're all there. They will pop up in our list. Now, you can resize them here if you want, so that they all fit. And the material can get changed there as required, if need be, or you can just enter your own thing. But once you've got that in there, you'll see that these are the weights of all the different products. And this is how you get to check if you've assigned the right material to the right product. So once you've clicked that, you can hit apply and then OK, and it will pop up in your list. To make it a little bit more readable, once again, you're going to stretch the columns. If you've ever stretched columns in Excel, this one's actually a little bit different. You kind of stretch them in the opposite way. But once you've stretched that, you could leave it sitting like that, which is still a little bit difficult to read, or you can make the table itself a little bit bigger and it will spread things out. So you've got a column for mass, you've got a column for material. There is all your parts, including the toe ball hitch, my sheet metal assembly and my axle assembly. And now you have a technical drawing. And like with any technical drawing, so that we get the best option for it, we're going to file, export to PDF, and it's going to pop up with our directory. I'm going to call this trailer parts list and hit save. And of course, it will save that. You can see it taking its little bit of time. And when we open up our Windows Explorer, there is our trailer parts list there. Double clicking on it, we'll open it up, and this is what you would need to attach into your assessment. Very easy to read. I can zoom in and see all those parts, and specifically all the weights there. I will be honest, I'm not 100% sure why that said varies there, but it would have something to do with the part and how I've laid it out. So you might want to check if you get anything like that popping up. But that particular parts list is what you guys will submit for your assembly and your assessment, I should say. Thanks very much.